it all down. Stay tuned to find out if the advice you've been following is actually beneficial or if there's a better way to care for your kidneys. You just need this to get rid of extra creatinine. For this hypothetical scenario, let's assume you are a patient with elevated creatinine levels, and you've scheduled 4 appointments with different nephrologists and kidney specialists with the sole aim of asking them the same question. How can I quickly lower my creatinine level, which is a primary indicator of kidney function? The first doctor might tell you that there is no way to achieve this. The second doctor might prescribe diuretics to help you eliminate excess fluid and toxins. Another doctor might suggest cutting out carbohydrates and sugar as the first step in treating water retention. The fourth physician might say that salt is a major issue. So, who is right? Which strategy works best? All right, folks, those of you who already know me are likely aware that I practice natural medicine as a doctor and am a naturopath. I've also spent considerable time helping people with kidney illness. First of all, welcome to our channel. If you're new here and if improving kidney health is your goal, please consider subscribing. Today, our focus is on figuring out the quickest, most natural way to reduce creatinine. Additionally, I'll review some of the most common tips given to kidney patients by nephrologists and doctors, and we'll assess whether they make sense. Is the first physician correct in stating that there is no way to enhance renal function? No. Disregard the response from the first fictitious physician to our query. I have seen kidney patients improve in every stage of chronic kidney disease, CKD, including stage 5, and scientific research supports this. So, is the quickest approach to reduce creatinine using diuretics? Doctors love their diuretics, no doubt about it, but I believe patients with kidney disease should know more about them. Allow me to clarify. Diuretics, commonly known as water pills, are medications that help the kidneys eliminate excess water and toxins. While this sounds great, diuretics have serious side effects that, if you're not aware of them, can be extremely harmful to your kidneys. Let's look at ways to avoid that. You should know that the prescription diuretics on my list, which include some name brands, do not immediately lower creatinine. If you are taking any of them, the most commonly used diuretics are loop diuretics, such as bumidinide or Lasix and furosemide or Bumex. Due to their ability to eliminate large amounts of fluid, salt, toxins, and potassium, these are recommended to kidney sufferers. Some individuals may also be given potassium-sparing diuretics and thiazides, which remove less potassium from the body. Your nephrologist should also choose the best combination for you, but this is not always a simple task. As I mentioned earlier, there is a significant risk to the kidneys from these medications. Without a doubt, prescription diuretics can help protect the kidneys. The main benefit is that reducing salt and sodium can lower blood pressure. However, because they might harm kidneys, they may also raise creatinine levels in certain situations. You risk dehydrating yourself, which is particularly dangerous if you have kidney disease. If your dosage is too high, or if you drink too little water, prescription diuretics in this instance may even result in acute kidney damage. So proceed with extreme caution. Familiarize yourself with the medications you take, and whenever possible, drink enough water. This doesn't mean you should stop taking these medications. Always follow your doctor's advice, but educate yourself as well. In keeping with this, let's explore some of the best natural alternatives to prescription diuretics. Is there a natural substitute that is effective? Yes, there are several natural substitutes that can lower creatinine and help your kidneys remove excess water. This is a suggestion for reducing creatinine that can only be provided by a naturopath, Equisetum arvense or horsetail. This plant's ability to dramatically lower creatinine levels, something that conventional treatments cannot achieve, is what makes it so remarkable. In patients with kidney disease, consuming magnesium and vitamin B6 together also helps reduce edema and creatinine levels. Increased urine production is linked to vitamin B6, especially when paired with magnesium. This is exactly what we need to fight swelling, and if you have kidney disease, this combination will also significantly help with creatinine levels. One of the best nutrients you can get to protect your kidneys is magnesium in particular. All right, everyone, let's return to the original question. What is the best and quickest method for eliminating extra creatinine and toxins if you have kidney disease? If your objective is to improve your GFR and creatinine levels, then cutting out carbohydrates and sugars from your diet is one way to address this question. Cutting out high carbohydrate foods from a diet, such as spaghetti, bread, pizza, breakfast cereals, and anything sweet, will result in a sudden increase in the amount of fluid that the body retains. Can creatinine levels actually be lowered using this strategy? It could be beneficial for certain patients, as excessive consumption of carbohydrates and sugars can lead to fluid retention in certain individuals, which can subsequently result in kidney issues. Although those who have diabetes are more susceptible to this problem, anyone can experience it. Have you ever noticed that when you start a diet, you lose weight quickly, perhaps 5 or 10 pounds in a matter of days? Have you ever experienced that? Although it's quite typical, losing weight quickly doesn't really result in a decrease in body mass. Glycogen, a type of glucose stored in the muscles and liver, is what you lose when you begin a diet. The body requires this glycogen to function. However, the kidneys are unable to eliminate the 3 grams of water that are stored with every gram of glycogen. As a result, the kidneys will be less able to eliminate toxins like creatinine. This might add up to a significant amount of extra fluid being held in the body, which will raise your blood pressure as well. At this point, cutting back on carbohydrates might seem like a sensible way to get rid of all of this extra water, right? Is there a better approach, or will that work? Of course, this means that you can eliminate a large amount of excess water that contributes to swelling and fluid retention if you make your body consume the glycogen it stores. Furthermore, as previously mentioned, eating fewer carbohydrates will force the body to use the glycogen that is stored in your body. At this point, some people may be tempted to consider a low-carb diet and eliminate all fruits and vegetables from their diet. But you shouldn't do that, because while it is true that cutting out all carbohydrates from your diet reduces water retention, it won't lower your creatinine levels. Not really, because, in order to save your kidneys, if you have kidney disease, your diet must include at least 60 to 70% carbohydrates. It has been repeatedly noted that kidney patients' kidney function declines and their creatinine rises as soon as they stop consuming fruits and vegetables. While fruits and vegetables do include some carbohydrates, keep in mind that they are also very high in vitamins, fiber, antioxidants, and other nutrients that your kidneys require. In addition, they have an alkalizing effect. Then how can we lower the amount of glycogen stored without drastically reducing our consumption of carbohydrates? Let's start with low GI carbohydrates. This is crucial, particularly for those who have diabetes. Instead of eliminating all carbohydrates, focus on cutting out those that will raise your blood sugar levels. These include things like bread, pasta, sugar-containing beverages, morning cereals, cookies, and the like. This is because your body will begin to replenish glycogen right after a glucose spike. However, eating the correct proportion of fruits and vegetables will help you obtain the necessary nutrients without holding on to too much glycogen. Because they are high in fiber, a lot of plant-based foods will actually reduce your risk of experiencing a glucose surge. Certain foods like coconut, avocado, almonds, and seeds also provide beneficial fats that can lower the chance of a glucose spike. Frequent exercise is another strategy to lower water retention. Do you remember how the body uses glycogen for energy? The body uses glycogen as its primary fuel, so exercising will cause the body to use up more of its stored fuel, which will also cause it to retain less water. Maintaining a healthy body weight is the third strategy for reducing water weight. This is particularly important if you have diabetes. Your insulin resistance will worsen if you're overweight. More insulin causes the body to store more glycogen and hold on to more water. That is to say, you do not have to completely cut off carbohydrates if your goal is to decrease water retention. Avoiding just high glycemic index carbohydrates, which are found in junk food and highly processed grains, is a healthier approach. Focus on increasing your physical activity while making every effort to keep your weight within a healthy range. If lowering your creatinine level, in addition to edema and water retention, is your goal, this approach will be quite successful. All right, so we've covered 2 effective methods for lowering your creatinine naturally and reducing fluid retention. However, as I mentioned earlier, if you ask multiple doctors how to lower your creatinine, you'll likely get different answers. Some doctors will, of course, tell you that sodium is your worst enemy if you also want to lower your creatinine levels and reduce water retention. Is that accurate, though? Let me explain this very clearly. I don't see anything wrong with this response. Any doctor will advise you to watch how much sodium you eat, and they are correct. However, if you ask me, I'll go one step further. I will inform you of a hidden risk that the majority of kidney patients are unaware of: concealed salt. Allow me to clarify. Large food companies have discovered that adding high amounts of sugar and sodium to their products causes people to eat more of them. This is a clever marketing tactic, but it has a downside. Most items on grocery store shelves are harmful to your kidneys. For this reason, it is insufficient to simply stay away from the salt shaker. By the way, it's been discovered that kidney impairment occurs even in the general public due to the excessive sodium intake that these marketing experts urge us to consume daily. Sodium directly harms the kidneys. Elevated salt levels make the kidneys work harder, which will shorten their lifespan, independent of high blood pressure. Therefore, never assume that you don't need to limit your intake of salt just because your blood pressure and kidneys are in good condition. While salt enhances flavor, it is also highly detrimental to your kidneys. This may not seem like a positive thing until you discover that eliminating excess sodium also directly protects the kidneys. In reality, it is best to consume less sodium. Cutting back on salt can not only help with swelling and high blood pressure, but it will also reduce your amount of proteinuria. Let's examine how to achieve this now. So what exactly is hidden sodium, and how can we avoid it? I'm currently on a diet and I track my macros using an app. I also read a lot of product labels, and I'm still amazed at how much sodium food companies manage to get into even the healthiest foods. Processed foods account for around 80% of the salt we consume daily, rather than salt from a shaker. Here are a few of the foods that most surprised me. Vegetable juice. They say it's an easy way to get your veggies by drinking them. In reality, you'll be consuming a lot of sodium-containing beverages. Vegetable juice can contain 400 to 600 milligrams of salt in an 8 ounces, 240 milliliters serving, which is about half of the daily recommended amount. Salad dressings. Salad dressing had an average of more than 300 milligrams of sodium per 2 TSP 28G serving, according to an assessment of popular brand name goods available in U.S. supermarkets. Yes, salad dressing is the simplest way to ruin a salad. Now, with bread, processed cheese, cured meats and sauces, sandwiches are definitely among the worst offenders. Easily, more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium can be found in one sandwich. For someone with kidney issues, consuming even one of these will be a terrible idea. In other words, simply avoiding the salt shaker is insufficient. Additionally, you should closely read the labels on the food you are consuming to avoid being tricked by marketing departments. Every time I talk about sodium in my videos, I get comments from people who are concerned about taking sodium bicarbonate as a supplement. They don't realize that it actually contains sodium. I'll end it here for today. Thank you for watching. Blessings to all of you. Goodbye.